Namco NegCon. If you haven't seen this before, it's a really peculiar controller, obviously made by Namco for the Ridge Racer games. What makes this strange is you've only got L and R, by the way, no L2 or R2. You've got your 4 face buttons like a normal PlayStation pad. You've got a D-pad, which feels pretty rough, and a start button. And what this adds to the game, allegedly, is the ability to give the player more control over their drifts, which is, something, basically the heart of Ridge Racer is drifting. And what you do is you swivel it, you hold it in one hand. See if I can do this in any reasonable means. No. As you can see, it rotates like that. Let's see. And basically, as you swivel it, that acts as an analog, which controls your steering. It's really, really peculiar. But you can just use the D-pad if you want to if you want to avoid the point of this pad. And it feels really weird. It's kind of a cool feature. The idea is to give you more control with analog steering instead of a D-pad. Because I think this came out before we sort of had analogs on the PlayStation controller as a standard. It's just a really strange controller, but it's got such a unique look to it. It's one I wanted for so long. I picked it up ages ago. I think I picked it up for a £5 actually in something like Cash Converters. It was really cheap. I couldn't believe my luck because I hear these are quite rare. So I immediately picked that out. It's in great shape, and it's a whole bunch of fun to use. Would I recommend it over the real thing, like a normal D-pad? Not really, but if you just want to have a blast and you see one of these going cheap, it's well worth it. It's a really, really unique controller. And Namco didn't stop there. I think this one came out after, but I could be wrong. By all means, correct me if I am. They produced this one here. Again, similar theme. This time you do have the 4 shoulder buttons. Much tackier build quality, I might add. Feels pretty much hollow. Yep, you've got all your face buttons as usual. That switches between whether or not, the mode switch, whether or not you're using the D-pad or this. Now this radial dial acts the same as the axis inside there. So basically this controls your steering, as weird as that is. So you can effectively play Ridge Racer, or other games that are compatible with this. I think there's quite a few. And yeah, you can drift using this. Now, as you hear it there, it's got quite a lot of feedback when you pull it down, quite a lot of resistance. It's kind of cool. Again, nothing more than a novelty item. And I mean, I've played the game with this, and I've had fun with it, but I'll have fun with Ridge Racer regardless, because I just love Ridge Racer. But it really is another just unique controller from Namco. It's such a strange idea as well. But yeah, so there's those two sort of side by side. And it's just bizarre. I mean, I love gaming ideas that perhaps don't pan out, because some things don't pan out because they're junk, some things don't pan out because they just don't catch on. These two could easily fall into both those categories, but I like them. I like the novelty, especially of the NegCon, the white one here. I really think that's awesome. This one's cool, but like I say, the build quality is just not up to scratch. And although you can have a bunch of fun with it, it's just a little more hassle than perhaps it's worth. But the same could go for both of them.
Dan W. 5, 4, 7.